Hi guys, so it's been a while since I did an embroidery video, but I recently picked up these totes over there at Trader Joe's, and this time around, ooh, they brought in plenty. I'm sorry, again, my camera's acting funny. That they wouldn't just sell out, right? Super like immediately, so I was able to pick up a few. Excuse me, and today I want to embroider a name on one of them. So these are the different ones that they have, and it's funny, I asked the gentleman, because they still had some, and he's like, I was like, oh, they sound like pancakes, right? They're just selling like hotcakes, whatever I said. That's probably what I said. And he was like, oh yeah, this time he's like, they really saturated the market with them, so like Trader Joe's brought in a ton of them so that they wouldn't sell like people do and try to sell on eBay and all that. I was like, oh, that's great, because I mean people can still grab them. But I have the purple. Ooh, that looks really blue. I don't know, but I have one in each color way right now. But this one I'm going to embroider with a name, and so these things are awesome because it's a mini tote bag. And I'm sorry I cannot pan out further because my camera's being weird where it's not focusing. I mean, that's a little bit better, but I mean, if you want, you can embroider all over. You can make a patch and then add it on, right? But I would say it'd be a little difficult to embroider over this area, but you could, right? Just flatten it out really well and have this whole area to embroider. I mean, the base here, the other side, of course they're identical on both sides, but I'm going to embroider in this little area here. So if anything that I'm using is still available or I can link for you guys, I will try and do that, possibly embedded in the video here, maybe down in the description box. Those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission for your purchase items to those links. So we're just going to get right to it. So I'm going to use my Singer SE CE 300 or whatever it is today. And I want to hoop this up in a way that is like this. This way. So it goes into the machine. And everything, all this excess is kind of in here instead of out towards the outside. But you can definitely put it that way. I guess maybe I should have just left it that way too. Whenever I go to do my wording, which I already did, I'm just doing this part, doing my intro, then I'll go back to the computer. I flip it around in a way that the wording is going to be this way. But, do whatever you want. When I put it in the machine, obviously it goes this way. I will say, remember that there are arrows to help you put this down. I did bring a little basting spray. I probably don't need it. I have these scraps of cutaway stabilizer, and I'm telling you, as long as the thing doesn't move, these are too small. I mean, maybe I could put it this way, but this piece is good. So again, this is from another project that I, had to cut off, and I was like, I'll recycle it, right? I'll still use it. And I'm not going to hoop this in here because it has the straps and everything else. I figured it was going to be too hard to get it all in here, so I'm just going to float it on top, okay? So right now, all I'm going to hoop up is this, which is just that cutaway stabilizer, and then I'll do a little basting spray. You can definitely sew it on with like some basting stitches. Most machines come with an option to do a basting stitch all around. I will say, when you're doing this, remember your little arrows need to line up. With this specific one, you want this clamped down because that is your release at the end, your quick release. And I'm so sorry, whenever I first reviewed this machine, I was using that as a way to clamp it in at the beginning. You do not want to do that because it's possibly that when you go to clamp it down, you're going to break it. So have that clamped down, and that's generally with any of these guys. And then you can tighten it up, right? So you want this in here nice and tight. Again, this is a cutaway stabilizer. Tear would be fine. That's a very sturdy tote, so you don't really need anything that's going to be, too thick. But this is good. The other thing, I do want it to be pretty centered, and hopefully I can kind of just eyeball that, which is what I normally do. But if you wanted to, you can definitely like fold this in half and maybe use an iron to really give you a good crease so that you know where the half is. And I'm not even doing it halfway, but so you can kind of eyeball that. But for me, I'm just going to eyeball it halfway is about here. And then where I want it, because as you look at this, you guys know, whenever you have a smaller hoop like this, maybe some of the larger ones too, this whole area right here is not going to be embroidered. So you can just discount that. This is where you're going to be paying attention. So these little marks and these marks here, and then none of this. So just know that this is where you're going to want to center everything. Okay, right in here. So with that in mind, we'll do a little something here. So this bottom edge obviously does discount like a ½ inch down in here, right? Oh, okay. And then all this area up here. Is it just me? I do not like when people ring the doorbell. Like I didn't expect anyone, and it's probably like somebody trying to sell something, and it's just kind of annoying. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and insert this, but when I go take this to my machine, I'm going to unhook this part, right? Like get this out from behind. But again, I'm centering this, and like when I'm talking about floating it, so this is the very center, right? This one's gonna be missing, that's missing there too, and that's fine. That looks about right, right? I'm about 1/2 inch over here, taking up the space here. The up and down, that's the part that scares me because I don't know. So here's the very center, and I can kind of think of it here. And what's nice about these machines nowadays is I can place this here and kind of stick that down. Again, you can take some basting stitches, just meaning like, maybe I'll do it real quick for you guys. Let me see if I have just some thread on here to also help you stick this down. And I mean basting, so it's like big, huge stitches that are just there to help this not move. I should have probably put a thimble on. Oh my goodness. Something like that. And the reason I want to put a thimble on because I have to pull this too. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to pull that because I want to keep it flat, guys. That's the issue here. This is what I'm looking for. I'm telling you, you always have tools and things from other crafts that can help you. I'm just looking for something to help me pull this. Okay, so that would be a nice basting stitch because that's gonna help it keep from not moving. And then usually do a couple times. So this. Again, I don't normally set things up professionally or even well. And hopefully, like I said, I'm eyeballing this correctly. So if that's about 1/2 inch, it's a little bit crooked. Maybe I'm... But see how well that basting spray sticks? Like that stuff was not... It probably would hold it pretty well for me. But I'm going to do another just quick stitch down over here. Right, you usually want to do a couple times. This, I think, will be enough. Just a little something to help us hold that down. Again, you do want to go up and down a few times. But like I said, I hardly ever take the time to do things properly. So, hey, look at me. Okay, let's go over to the computer so I can set up the name. And you guys can see what that kind of looks like, okay? And then we'll stitch it out. So, again, I just use this quilt basting spray. We need our embroidery thread, of course, whatever color you want to use, and then your bobbin, which should be in your machine, and that's usually a lighter weight thread, but you can definitely pick up embroidery bobbin anywhere. It's very thin stuff, and it usually comes in white or black. But I will be right back. I will say I will also put this on a removable thumb drive because you're going to need to put this into your embroidery machine, and most of them take a thumb drive like this. So. Okay, let's go and set up our wording. Okay, guys, so I first am going to open, oop, not that one. Well, it's okay. Embrilliance, okay? So I know you can't see it because it's down here, but if you have a Mac, that's how you do that kind of thing. We're just going to open up. I never paid for this, so I just say continue. There is no setup. I don't have a serial number for them. So what I'm going to do is just get our lettering. And so you just click on the A up here. I have other videos where I've done this and went through all kinds of stuff. Today we're just going to get right to it. Oh, I could make it in a circular shape. I forgot about that. You can kind of manipulate the letters. Again, this is a free software, and we can just go for it. So you can work with anything that is compatible with the software, right? As far as the type of file. But when it's the free one, it has to be a very specific kind of file, which I don't remember right now. It's like a DX file or something like that. But I have other videos on that. But we'll get it out of that format into the format I need to embroider. I am going to put this after I manipulate it into the Singer software, which is now called Creativate, which, I don't know. They're always asking me to update all these weird things. It used to be My Sonnet. I think it still is My Sonnet, but when you download it, it's Creativate. So I'll open that up just so I can see how it's actually going to be placed, and I'll talk about that, because after we manipulate this, we can just save it as the .xxx or .dst, whatever it is that your embroidery machine needs. But I like to then open it in Singer just to see how it's going to look. But anyway, so let's look for what we want. And for this particular one, I want something spooky. I don't know if I have anything called like Halloween or spooky or like drips or something. And then the lettering size, again, you know, we have a good little area there. I think I'm going to do like a 2-inch letter, just so it's nice. It doesn't have to be huge. Okay, I'm just going here. Oh, the Disney font's very cute. Again, a lot of these fonts I bought on Etsy. Ooh, this fairy one's kind of fun because it's kind of wizardy looking. Actually, I think I have a Harry Potter font too. Glitch, that's not it. Ooh, Halloween ooze. Okay, that's probably what I'll be using. Magic Land, again, this is like a... oh, actually, I was going to say this might be Disney, but no, I think this also is from a Harry Potter set that I had bought on Etsy. Ooh, Nightmare is cool. Oh, it's like Nightmare Before. Oh my gosh, let me see what that one looks like. It's kind of spaced out really large. Let's see. My little nephew. Or, yeah, great nephew. Is that how they are? I don't know. It's my niece's son. I don't know if I already mentioned that. But anyway. I don't know. That's really cool, though. It doesn't react to lowercase letters. Let's see what the other one looks like. What was it called? Like Halloween something? Okay, Halloween ooze, 2 inches. Yeah, I like that better. It looks just more Halloween-y, and then the spacing of it and everything, I feel like that looks better. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one. Again, whatever you want. And now I'm going to click on File, and I'm going to say Save. So you have Save. Okay. It wants to access my files. Let's say don't allow. I don't allow things to do anything when I don't think it's necessary. So save stitch and working. Yeah. So whenever you do this, I mean, you can say save working file, save stitch file, which is basically what I need. I really just need a stitch file. Any one of these things will work. I really, like I said, just need the stitch file. So I'm going to say save stitch file. And I'm going to call it, and see, I leave that .xxx designation because my computer, my software, and my machine, my embroidery machine, they all take DST and XXX, so, you know, you can save it however you want. But I'll just say Leo Halloween. And then down here, if you wanted to save it as a different format, you can do that, okay? And then from here, you can just put it on your, you know, removable thumb drive, so you can put it in your embroidery machine. But I always like to open it in Singer. I don't know why. So anyway, .xxx, I'm going to save it as that. Okay. And then now I like to open, it's called Creative 8 for whatever reason. So I'm going to open that. It's Creative 8. And I'll say continue because, again, I never bought a subscription. I don't have anything to type in, so I just say continue. And these are the things I've worked on before. It always starts with that. I say blank project. See, it says Creative 8. If you do the update, it's going to change all your apps if you have a MacBook, and I assume if you have Microsoft or a PC, it's also going to look different. But anyway, I'm going to do the small hoop. I don't think we need to involve the larger one. I did keep the machine information here. See, orientation, natural rotate. That's what I don't understand sometimes, because it's showing you the way you're looking at it here is how it goes in the machine. And the machine, this is on the left, right? So you're going to push it in, and this is going to be down in your right corner. So when you go to hoop up your stuff, you need to keep that in mind. So what this looks like, let's say, well, I'll talk about it right now. Let's just say, okay. When I bring in my wording, my lettering, which I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say File, Insert. I'm going to say Desktop. Okay, well, that's already there. And Leo. Open. There it is. It's going to be smack center, and it's like this. So if I insert this into my machine, you can see, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's going to be upside down, at least the way I want to hoop up the bag, because this is where that bottom right corner, right? And I want to hoop my bag this other way. So I'm just going to use this over here, and I'm just going to say 45 degrees at a time, rotate. I can grab it and turn it, but this way I know for sure it's nice and centered. And so now, when this is on the left and this is at the bottom right corner, when I hoop it up, this is my dead center, right? So now I'm going to save this again. And this time I do need to save it to my thumb drive just because I'm going to take it. And sorry guys, this is a Mac and I totally forgot to set it up. They only have the new Macs. Oh, it's really annoying. I had to buy an adapter. It only has a USB-C, so it doesn't have ports. So I need to add the USB-C, and then I need to do the adapter, and then I need to plug in my USB to that adapter. Okay. File, and then I want to save. Actually, that's not true. Sorry. I was just, well, okay, let's say save. And I should save it as a file. Hold on. Let's say cancel. Now I'm already forgetting how I used to save these. Let's do export. See how it's like a little bit different than save? That's what I want. Because if I just save that, it's going to be the working file. When I export it, it's going to be the actual stitching file. And you can see here, see how it's like sideways now? That drives me nuts. Okay, actually, that's interesting. Let's say cancel. And let's do this again. If this is where it began, let me see what it looks like now. If I say file export, I feel like I always have to mess with it. See, that's facing the way I don't, how come? Okay, let's keep doing this. I'm telling you, okay, that's where I want it, right? Okay, facing the thing, that's what I wanted. Let's see what file export looks like. And if it's sideways again, see, it's sideways again. Drives me nuts. I don't know why. That's okay, we can manipulate this in the machine, like on the actual sewing machine. Fit, rotate to fit natural hoop position, flip design. Something about this is what makes it look like that. But anyway, we'll just play with it in a minute. Hold on, let me see. Let me try one more rotation. No, not like that. Like this. Let's see. File. Export. Oh, okay. That's how I want it. Let's see what happens. Let's say continue. And I'll say Leo Halloween. And it's already chosen. Actually, let me talk about that. I'm going to the USB, which is where I want it. And that's great. Okay. If you want it somewhere else, obviously choose somewhere else. But that's where I want it to be. So save. What I was going to say is you can also choose the file type here. So export is not the same as save. Save is like if you want to save the file, the working file, like you're going to mess with it later. This is the actual stitching file. And then again, you can also pick, it doesn't matter if it says Bernina or whatever, Husqvarna, as long as the .jef.sew.exp is what your machine uses, save it. .vp3, you know, a lot of them do .dst, like my pull-in. Tajima, doesn't matter. That's, you know, Toyota. That's interesting. Okay, anyway. But as long as the file destination is right, then just choose that one. Okay? Don't worry about the branding. Okay. I guess we're ready to go. I'm just going to close this out. I don't need to, you know, I can quit or whatever. All right, guys. I will be at the embroidery machine, I suppose. Okay, and so just to begin, make sure you have a good amount of bobbin thread. This is actually a new one, so we're good to go there. And let's turn the machine on. Funny enough, the other day I was trying to make some patches that completely did not work out for me. This is ridiculous stuff. Of course, it's not in there already, so I don't know why they... It should know that. So I'm trying to say, because it knows when you pop something in there correctly. Okay, so... I'm going to put this guy in, our thumb drive. Hopefully that's, yep. And we can just take our little guy and hoop it up also, or just put it on here at least. So again, with this machine, I haven't put my top thread in, but when I go to do this, hopefully you can kind of see I'm taking the back of this completely forward because you don't want this to be in the way at all, of course, or it's going to stitch itself together, right? So be careful. And I'm going to go ahead and place this into the carrier. Oopsie. So what I was trying to do with those patches I just showed you is I was going to use just plastic sheeting from Home Depot with a little bit of tearaway, and it just did not work. I mean, these guys are, it was a problem. So I'll work that out, no problem. But for right now, that was not good. Okay. I haven't put in my thread yet, but we can say we want a design. This is an alphabet that's on here, which again, it's not the easiest thing to work with, so I don't care about that. But we're going to go in, and then for this machine, I'm going to go in and look for my designs. And we called it Leo, didn't we? So it's in alphabetical order. Oh my goodness. Leo Halloween. Okay, and then yes. And it's going to show me kind of the center right now. That's the very center. That looks really good, guys. The positioning looks awesome. It is lying and it's going to stitch the way I wanted. So LEO, but upside down, right? Or the way I need it to be. So that's perfect. Let me grab some thread. I'll probably be using this bro thread that I bought a long time ago. Oh, maybe this green right here that I'm already seeing. So it's kind of like a lime green, kind of spooky, maybe a brighter one, but there's a ton of colors in here. I'll go with this one. This is cute. Okay, so let me get this threaded up. If you want to know more information about that for this machine, I have tons of videos. I'll try to link for you guys, but I'll be right back. Okay guys, this is where you always hope and pray everything's gonna be okay. All right, so I put that on there. We have our stuff. I can also say like, show me where it's gonna stitch, but for now I think we're good to go. And so let's just press play. It's gonna let me cut the string end here. And let's go again. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure this stuff's out of the way and we should be good to go. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at it. It's right on the edge there. I know it's hard to see and I can't really get it in there, but that's great. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I could have brought it down a little bit, but I'm happy. As this is stitching, I will say I am absolutely using this little carrier thing that I got with my pulling machine. It works so well because a lot of times with the threads here, it gets wound up and tight and then it ends up breaking and it's been crazy, but it's much better using that stand. So maybe I'm just a simple woman, but this makes me so happy when things like this work out. Like, this is going to be so cute. Oh my gosh. And you know, in the programs, you can mess with the density and all these things, but sometimes when you do that, it messes things up. So I just let it stitch what it was going to stitch, but if you wanted to say, you know, denser stitches, all these things, you can manipulate all those things in the computer programs, even the free versions. Okay, it's finishing that. It's going to go over to the O. This has little O's to do. That's so cute. And here's our O, and I think we're good, guys. I don't know if you saw, it was going into this string and it just snapped it. So that's fine, I guess, instead of breaking the tension, you know, which is interesting. It just went under it and it should have glided right over it. You probably saw at the very end there when I was going to pause. That's crazy. Well, it kept working. Okay, that might have pulled it actually a little bit crooked. You can see this is down here and this is way up here. But, you know, I'm not selling these guys. It's okay. Oh, I will say, if you're all hooped up and everything's there and, you know, you come over here and you're like, I don't really like that placement. Like I said, you can do a preview of where the placement's going to be. You can definitely manipulate that in your, like on your on-screen here on board in pretty much any modern machine, okay? So you can say, oh no, just move it down, move it down, move it down, or bring it up a little bit. Within the 4-inch guidelines, right? It's not going to let you move it too much, but you could definitely manipulate that without having to go back to like your computer and, you know, figure it out. Okay guys, it is finishing up the last little bits. Kind of interesting. I want to say that, oh, it looks like it got justified in some way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It looks just fine. And that should be done, and it says it's done. So that is it. I'll unhoop this, which is basically just, it should have cut the thread, but let's see if it did. Yep. All right, I'll take this out and we'll go back to my craft table to finish up. Actually, before we go there, let's just release this. Again, you just boop, and it pops out. Okay, so I'll just take this stuff downstairs with me. If I really wanted to, I could have put the name on both sides. A little bit crooked. Again, it got pulled. Something happened because I was watching it the whole time and then we basted it, you know, and I was kind of trying to keep it right. So it's a little crooked. Do you think anybody will be upset about that? I don't know. But that is also why you want to do really, really good, you know, setup, right? And everyone says that, obviously, if I was to sell these, you're going to do something different. You're going to really take time to do that. But the stitches, you know, just at least 3 or 4 times up and down, up and down. You can do it all around to make sure it really stays. But, you know, whatever it is. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is remove these. Because, again, that's why it's a basting stitch. We didn't really, like, tie it down. That's interesting. There we go. They come right out. And like I said, your machine can do this for you also, but it just depends. And then also, like, what if it's crooked and then your machine based it down crooked? So I think it's better to do it yourself. We're going to get rid of all these other smaller little bits here. Now, of course, you can do this, and then I'll show you what you can do to really... Yeah, that was crazy when it caught on there, and it just ripped it. I was like, okay, all right, good. Well, it's... Usually the machine will, like, stop working. You know, say it'll get caught up with that, or it'll tear your... it messes with your tension. Now, if you have any little bits sticking up that, you know, you don't like there, you can definitely take something like this, and I love using a little torchy one like this one, and just kind of bring it close. And you can finish off whatever threads. Like I said, you can put it on both sides, the name. And then this is not a tearaway, I don't believe. Yeah, it's just cutaway. So I'm going to cut it away, but I love using tearaway. Look how nice and perfect that is on the back. So good. So just come in as close as you can to everything. Again, maybe you can use this for a different project. So maybe, you know, you use a background stabilizer that goes across the whole frame, but then you just need a little piece for the actual project you're doing. So like when a piece like this, I mean, I will save it because that's a good amount of stabilizer for a different project. And then just cut this all in here, just kind of close. And this one especially, it's it was stuck down still from the spray. So that's there, and there you go, and there it is. So yeah, I wish it was a little straighter, guys, but you know, it came out the way it came out. I just recently bought a bunch of Etsy K-pop Demon Hunters embroidery files, which is really fun. I mean, I can imagine putting like a character here, one here, maybe all around, maybe a group, you know, shot or whatever. Super cute. All right, guys, well, thanks for watching, and I'll have images coming up, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.